I should be like you, Melvin.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello, and welcome back to another week of Cherry AM. And following our 0-0 draw against Newcastle United at Dean Court, which we are going to cover off in Cherry Slaps, which is the review show later on. So do check that out, and please do get involved as well. We could have been second, but we're fourth. We'll take that. Of course, it wouldn't be a Monday morning without Sean Ray next to me. How you doing, Sean?
Yeah, not too bad. Went to the men's game instead of the women's game, though might have been better to do the other way around. But well,
well, to be honest, we was a bit unlucky right at the end, but we'll take this. Hey, Sean, if somebody offered you to be in this position at the start of the season, you'd take it all day long, wouldn't you?
yeah, that's I really think we're going to go for Europe and that. So yeah, it's better than expected in that. So, but was it last week I said to you that I'm going to this game. Not my luck, it'll be 0-0.
Yeah, you did. You did.
None of you believe me.
Guaranteed. Sean, stay away. Just keep watching the ladies.
I'm actually going next week. I'll be going to Ascot to watch the ladies. So
fair enough.
A nice little trip.
You seem to have a bit more luck with them, but hey, we was unlucky really. We could have pinched it at the end, but it is what it is. Eddie still hasn't got victory over us in the top flight. Of course, he did get victory over us in the Carabao Cup. However, we're not really counting that, to be honest. So yeah, sorry Eddie if you are watching this morning. Let's just quickly go through the comments. I'm pretty sure Eddie Howe's not watching this show. If he is, hello Eddie, please do come on for an interview. It'll be absolutely dream come true. Here we go. Malcolm Chiverton is here with us. Good morning from Kristiansand, Norway. A point and a clean sheet. I will take that. Cherries still fourth. Yes, most definitely. A decent performance on the day. However, unfortunately, we couldn't pinch it at the end. But I say, unfortunately, like I say, any of us would have taken this at the start of the season. Absolutely tremendous effort. The only defeat coming in that opening weekend against Liverpool. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can keep this great run going. Chris Hubble says, morning, everyone. Good morning, Chris. And Malcolm said, good morning to Chris back. And Chris has said, morning to Malcolm. Paul Santa said, good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well, Paul. And Liam is in the house. Good morning, Liam. Hope you're doing well. Chris has said hello to Paul.
Right.
Darren Hurst. Hi all, 10 points from 5, fourth position, 3 clean sheets. Life being a Cherry fan is good, most definitely, Darren. And in all honesty, if we keep that up throughout the season, we will get European football without a shadow of a doubt. And probably, European football beyond our wildest dreams. We are going to have a dip at some point. This fairy tale isn't going to continue going on all season. But let's ride the wave whilst it's going on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, we can get as high up as possible. Hey, you know, Leicester City did what they did. You never know. You can never know in this game. All it takes is for Liverpool to self-combust, which, isn't beyond the wildest realms of possibilities. Man City and Arsenal drew. I don't particularly think Arsenal was that great. I think Man City, I think are a shadow of their former selves. There is a little bit of a perfect storm, but I do think that, even though we did beat them, I honestly think Spurs might be the team that might force their way to be Liverpool's biggest competitors. But hey, who knows? Who knows? Just be nice to surprise everybody, wouldn't it? Still.
Well, I'm hoping we can break a habit because our next run of fixtures, I swear I've read all. I don't know. I know we got Leeds now, but I swear we got a nice run of fixtures next. But at the same time, how many times have we done really well against teams that we're not expected to get too many points from, and then we have a run against teams we're expected to get points from, and then we end up messing it up. So I'm actually more worried about the teams coming up. If we've got an easier run, because our history hasn't been the best when that happens. So hopefully we can break that habit this time.
Well, the next game against one of the top teams is on the 2nd of November. Of course, that is against Manchester City at the Etihad.
6-pointer.
Yeah, 6-pointer. Who knows? A 6-pointer in the race for Europe. We haven't won up there. There is a chance to break a habit there as well. Let's see if we can get a result. I would take a draw every day of the week up there. Winning up at the Etihad is probably beyond our wildest dreams. But like I say, Manchester City aren't in the best of form. They're not in the best of places. They look like a shadow of their former self. They look like they're struggling. They look like they're on their last legs, to be honest, as in their current format, that team that, got them to those league titles, 3 in a row, it looks like it is kind of diminishing. So who knows? Leeds away, of course, is the next game, which I will come on to in a second because we do have a very special interview for that one. Keep your eyes peeled. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe and the bell button, please do it now because you don't want to miss that. Then we got Fulham at home, Crystal Palace away, then Nottingham Forest at home, which concludes October. So four games between now and the end of October. It's a bit dire, really. Of course, international break in there as well. Send everybody asleep. But there we go. But yeah, it's very possible that, we could, let's be fair, those sort of teams are the ones that are going to be challenging for us. However, they're going to see us, as, somewhere to get points. But we could easily end up with 3 points from those games. Touch wood, that won't happen. We could end up with 12 points from those 4 games, which if we get 12 points from those games, I would be very, very, very surprised if we're not in second place. Which, wow, imagine that, all those years ago, minus 17. Honestly, it's not even worth thinking about at this moment in time. Let's see if it happens. Hi, Chris, says Paul Sands. Chris has said, how are you, Paul? Great conversation here. Dugout Football Channel is checking out Liverpool's main contenders for the title this season. Good morning, Doug. How are you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. Paul Santa says, "Fine, thanks. Hope you're okay. Good, thank you, Paul." Says Chris. Paul Santa said, "Joint second and already a third of the points to survival." Do you know what? I'm not even thinking of relegation because it's not going to happen. But based on our start, it would be an absolute travesty if a team gets relegated from this position, after 10 points from 5 games. It's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. Let's just focus on, going forwards. Stay positive. That's what Matt.
I was going to say with this season, I know it's very, very early into the season who figuring out relegation, all that is getting practically impossible. I mean, and Jaden Anthony scored a game for Burnley, but obviously Burnley got a draw, Leeds got a win against Wolves, Sunderland got a draw against Villa. Relegation team, the promoted teams are still gaining points in that. So I can't think what the table is at the moment, but it's absolutely nuts.
I said at the start, I said Sunderland won't go down. I can't see Sunderland going down. I think Leeds have probably got enough in the tank to not go down. I think Burnley's the one that's got to look over their shoulder the most. Out of the teams in the relegation zone, Wolves look very, very poor.
It's actually, you might be able to do it easier because I can't look at any stats or anything because I'm on my phone doing this. But I don't know who's actually in the relegation zone at the moment. Do you know?
I do, yes. I will bring it up. Brentford are just outside the relegation zone. I know that much because I was having a look at it. You've got Aston Villa on 3 points from 5 games. They've not had a very good start. Emery, a little bit concerned there. I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine though. West Ham, 3 points from the 5 games. They did have one decent result, but apart from that, Graham Potter is probably clinging on to his job. There was protest there. West Ham fans just protest for the sake of protesting after time. I wouldn't even worry about West Ham, because at the end of the day, they'll just have a moan. They, I think, could get drawn right into it. And Wolves, I think, are dead meat. I think Wolves, I just can't see. I don't see anything from Wolves this season. We're very, very good friends with Talking Wolves and Dave Aspardi, and it's a real shame to see them if they do go down. But in all honesty, if I am just taking the thought process away from this, and taking the good comments and nice relationships that we've got with their fans, I just can't see it. I can't see anything from them. I honestly can't. I honestly don't see where they're going to get enough points. I think Wolves are gone. Honestly, do. But there's so many teams in it. Forest are on 5 points. After their crazy decision to sack Nuno Espirito Santo, Brighton are on 5 points. They've not got off to the best of starts. Okay, I think they've got enough in the tank, most definitely. But they're not miles safe. So it's interesting. It's going to be an interesting season. This.
I've seen nuts table already.
I think things, let's see where we are after these next 4 games, because if we see, that we are pushing on, after 9 games, we can get a little bit of a barometer of where we are. We know Liverpool are the best team in the league by far, but we'll see a bit of a barometer of exactly where this football club are, where everybody is, and at that point, we've got Lord Rodney Trotter in the house. Hope you're doing well, mate. Morning all. Not a bad result. All in all, I think we predicted a draw. Yeah, to be honest, I'm happy with the draw. Happy with it.
To make you guys worry, just let you know I am going to Leeds. So
Oh no. Somebody take Sean's ticket away from him, for God's sake. Come on, we have to win that game. Mainly because it's dirty Leeds as well. It's like, oh. Dan Short said, "Morning, Craig and Sean. What a point yesterday from a Toon fan." Yeah, you got a foot in both camps, haven't you, Dan? But yeah, to be honest, Newcastle will be probably happier with that than we will be. Although, I'm delighted with the point. I think that we could have pinched that at the end. That free kick right at the end from Justin Kluivert had that little bit of a bobble. Pope did very, very well with that. So,
I mean, we were the better team. I mean, looking at we had 11 shots. With 2 on target. They had 4 shots, 1 on target. But I was looking at Sofa score, and their midfield and defence were all 7s. Only Senesi and Ikete was 7s on ours. But again, the midfield and defence were all on the high 6s. So it was a game where both teams, the defence and midfield, were brilliant. It was the attacking side of both teams that let them down. So, which showed in the numbers.
To be honest, I don't think our team let us down, really. In all honesty, Sean. What I do think is that, we should have maybe made them pay. There was enough chances to make them pay. I think that we were the better side. I think we were in control of the match for large periods. Unfortunately, we just couldn't find that goal. Had we found that goal, I don't think we would have got a retaliation from Newcastle, or I don't think we would have creeped under that. You look at how many goals we've conceded. Apart from those 4 at Liverpool, we've conceded 1 against Brighton. We didn't concede against Wolves. We didn't concede yesterday. We are in some decent form. And long may it continue. Didn't concede at Spurs. So, okay, we've conceded 5 in the league all season. We've scored 6. It's to concede 4 up at Liverpool. Liverpool are free scoring anyway. The top scorers, they are prolific. If they had here's something. If Liverpool played like they did against Burnley against us, we would have beaten them, hands down. We would have beaten them, but at the end of the day, it was their first game back. Of course, it was an emotional game because of Diego Jota. They really want to put a statement out there for the rest of the Premier League, and so they did. And in all honesty, they showed why they were champions that day. But after watching that Burnley match and how they performed against them, I don't think they would have got the 3 points against us had we played them. So it swings in roundabouts. Of course, we just have to be what comes up on. You never know. Leeds might have an absolute blinder. Hopefully not. They might have an absolute blinder next Saturday. And we can't cope. We might have an absolute dire game. So we've just got to be on our best, and we should hopefully get the 3 points up Elland Road. Despite Sean being at the game. Darren Hurst said Eddie came and with a 5-man defence was seriously worried about our attack and showed what with shots difference 11-4. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember when I saw because I've heard about the Newcastle lineup being tall and all that kind of stuff. But when I saw them, I thought, my God, are we sent out the under-18s or something? They was absolutely giants. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I thought when I saw Diakite, because I know people were saying Boko to start they wanted now because of the height of there. And I saw Diakite next to, I don't know, the Newcastle teams very well, 27, wherever he was, and their striker, I think it was. And he looked so small compared to, I was like, oh my God, he's going to get completely overrun. But I put actually Diakite as my man of the match because I don't know how the world he done it. Every single ball that went to him he's managed to beat this giant every single time. I don't know how he did it, but every single time.
I think he reads the game well. I think he reads the game. He sees the actual, when the ball's coming in, he can read it, he can watch it, he knows where exactly to stand, where to, actually drop off or move forwards. The reading of the game is very, very good. And that, I think, is the difference between a good defender like Diakite and a defender who, I don't mean to throw him under the bus again, but like Julian Arejo, a defender who isn't particularly that great. So yeah, that's honestly, I think Diakite is a great player because he reads it so well. Malcolm's telling me off. He's saying, take it one game at a time, guys. Yeah, I know, but I'm getting excited, Malcolm. I'm getting excited,
Get me passport ready. Come on.
I know, I've got the passport. The passport is ready. We are off on a European tour. Maybe this time next year I'll be able to come to what's the place's name? Christian Sands, in Norway with you. So there we are. There's a thought. I can come with you, Malcolm, and then we'll go and watch the Cherries play in Norway against I don't know, Christian Sand FC.
Oh, there's some funny names out there.
Yeah, that's probably not the team name. Find out for us, Malcolm.
Well, hopefully, I'm hoping they will play Brest FC.
Brest.
That'll be
You like Brest?
Yeah, I want to see Brest play.
Yeah, I do like Brest.
I've heard it's a lovely team, and you just really want to enjoy them. Huh?
It is. They've got a lot going up front though, as well. They are very, very strong up front.
Oh, I've seen so many of the football shows do that.
Oh dear. We've gone to a new
We can
level.
do a whole show on that if we did.
Yeah, exactly. We just keep finding the
It would
puns.
just be a show of puns all day.
Yeah. Well done, Hamworthy and Bournemouth ladies as well. Yes, we'll come on to Bournemouth ladies in just a second. I'll just run through the rest of the comments as well. Doug has said, yeah, all good, guys. Perfect result that was for us yesterday. Arteta cost them that win yesterday. Why start Trossard and Saliba when both were not match fit and have Eze and Mosquera on the bench? Yeah, completely agree with that. I honestly think Arteta is probably in the last chance saloon this season. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, no, he's doing well." But I think Arsenal fans demand trophies. They want a trophy, and like Doug says here, City were there for the taking, but he just decided to sit back. So
I wonder
yeah,
if they can get a record breaker for the most times Premier League team has finished second. I wonder if they can get that little thing. I don't know
yeah.
what the record on that is.
Well, they've got to get past Spurs this season and us. Um, Dan's put in here the teams in relegation. So West Ham, Villa, and Wolves. Or is that the three to go down? I'm guessing that's the relegation three. Wolves, Leeds, and Burnley, I think, will go down at this early stage. Leeds being thrown in there by Paul Sands. Burnley, yeah, I can see that. I can see Burnley. As much as we dislike Leeds, I honestly, I can't see it. I can't see it. I think Brentford are going to be right down there, but it's interesting. Brentford haven't been particularly very good. Against Fulham, they weren't particularly good either. Um, Jimenez had a cracking shot twice. He unleashed and come close. Yes, he looks a good player. Looks a good player. Of course, replaced in that second half, but I'm not sure why. I think was it a bit of a knock?
There's a yellow card.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
probably.
yellow card. I think Andoni said in his interview that he was worried with him having a yellow card.
Well, Darren Hurst has said not enough crosses is my only criticism. Wing backs turned and okayed back too often. Set plays were woeful. What was the chip over the top all about? Yeah, it wasn't the best. But
yeah,
to be
Newcastle
honest,
just kept the high line. That's all it was. They was expecting them to drop back, but they didn't. They kept the high line, so it messed up.
Newcastle, in all honesty, are such a big team. The crosses into the box. Andoni probably thought, well, they're going to beat us to it each time, but they do seem susceptible to set plays. So, I would have thrown a couple more in there. But yeah, of course. And I'm not telling Andoni how to do his job. He's the Messiah. I'm not. Let's get a win away against Leeds United, yes. And we'll just come on to the women in just a second, but do keep your eyes peeled. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell button below, because we do have a celebrity interview coming up, and it will be after Cherry AM tomorrow morning that it'll be released. But let's just say, to give you a bit of a guess, Ruby.
Oh, I'm not very good with names.
Okay, that's fine. I'm sure somebody will guess it in the comment section who I have got on. But yes, that's coming up after Cherry AM, so make sure your eyes are peeled. And I tell you what, wow, I've already done the interview with him, but it is an absolutely outstanding conversation. Really, really, really interesting. And yeah, hopefully, you will all enjoy it. Brooks' goal was unlucky and broke the fence. Yeah. I tell you what, let's come on to the women. And let's discuss that in a little bit more detail, because how did they get on, Sean? You weren't there, because you was watching the men's team.
Yeah, it's watching an exciting 0-0 instead. As far as the report basically goes, is they won 2-0 against Cheltenham. Apparently it's quite a tough game, by sound, a tight game. Both goals were in the second half. McGuinness opening her account, and Wilson scoring her first goal for the Cherries after signing this year. Brings us on to, I think it's 12 or 13 points, something like that. We're first place, joint points with Watford at the moment.
Yes.
And Cheltenham was probably looking for a little bit of revenge, because last season in the Plate Cup, whatever it was, that was the team that we beat to win the Plate Cup. So they're probably looking for a little bit of revenge, but they didn't get their way. And that gives us 932 days without a loss in the league. So, not too bad.
There's a gap forming as well, even at this very early stage after 5 games. There's 3 points between Bournemouth and Watford to Plymouth, and then even further back to Cardiff, or how do you say it? Gwillia? Is it?
Oh, I think
Gallia?
Yeah, Gualia. I'm not going to say for that. I know it's Irish name. My dad is Welsh and that, so I feel ashamed not be able to say it for certain. But yeah.
But yes, it's going very, very well for the ladies. Of course, yet to play Watford. And next up is a cup game, isn't it, at Ascot?
Yeah, because I'll be on Thursday. I'll do a proper bit more of a preview for Ascot.
Yes.
But yeah, basically, the runners, well, third place, second place goes into the Plate Cup thing, which is what we done last year. The winners goes to knockout stage. So hopefully we can win this game, and we'll definitely go to the knockout stage. So do better than last season. But I say if we lost, the 10 best runner-ups goes through as well. So it's not impossible for us, but simple maths is we win, we go to the knockout stage. So, and I'll be there. So I'll do a little drive to it.
And Ascot are in a division below, aren't they, as well?
Yeah, they're in the league below and that. So,
yeah.
In theory, we should win. I say top the table, but as I said, if Ascot were to win, then we'd move to second, I believe, in our little mini league. So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get the better over them. I'm sure we will do as well. Liam has put in here the Kaiser Chiefs. Will it be the Kaiser Chiefs? What do you think? Every day I love you less and less. Yeah, I think you've got it, Liam. I think you've got it. But yeah, it's a very, very, very good interview. So please keep your eyes peeled. We do have another special reveal that is coming up on this channel as well at some point tomorrow. So please, 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 please just keep everything peeled for that. We are just waiting for the go live, just to be told when we can actually reveal what is going on. Once we reveal what is going on, then we will want you to get involved as well. And we'll put it on the top of all these chats as well. So you can, actually join us in some success for this channel as well. So, yeah, some exciting, exciting times.
I was going to say, the only other thing I was going to say, because I don't want to go too much into the game and that, but you did mention earlier about one player that, what do you think is going to happen to him? And that's Julian. With Jimenez looking like that he'll probably be first choice. Got Adam Smith. Hill looks like he'll be over Julian as well. So you're looking, fourth, fifth choice, depends if Lewis Cook is there. So
I don't think
maybe
he's good enough. I just don't think he's good enough. I think he's too rash. I think what he will benefit is a loan away from this football club. But hey,
I think
I've got to be honest. I think, in all honesty, I think that it's. I I think it might be time to just cash in on Julian. So yeah. I'm just going to quickly go through some of the comments as well. Miami Dolphins. Not sure what that's a reference to. Is that a band? Miami Dolphins. I think that's Miami Dolphins. Oh, that's an American football team. I'm not sure what reference that is, Chris. So I do apologise. But yeah, Miami Dolphins, an American football team. So there we go. Lord Rodney Trotter is on baby duties at the moment. It's not Damien, is it? Damien? If anybody's watched Only Fools and Horses, then we'll get the reference to that as well. It's the greatest job in the world, isn't it? When you got kids and you want to come and bringing them up, it is the best job in the world. Until you have, where they decide you're giving them a cuddle and they shit all over you.
hopefully no red eyes or anything like that.
Multitasking badly. No, that's fine, Lord Rodney Trotter. It is, like I say, it's the greatest job in the world. Wouldn't change it ever. It's a challenge always, but it's good. It's good. Cool. I think, to be honest, that rounds everything up for us today. Of course, we do have Cherry Slaps later on. Please do get involved. On Cherry Slaps now, you'll see a link. That link at the very top of the chat box, that will actually take you into the StreamYard room. So if you do want to come on camera, you are more than welcome. Everybody is welcome, be it Bournemouth, Newcastle fans, be it Doug, of course, from a Liverpool perspective, we always like that as well. So please do get involved. That's at 7:00 this evening. So do get involved. Sean, it's been fun.
Yeah.
You are back with me on Thursday, aren't you?
Yeah. Got the car to go in for a service and MOT tomorrow morning, and
joys.
I've got to go to doctors for something. Not sure exactly what though.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything's okay. And yeah, hopefully the car passes with flying colours. You know, the MOT is always the moment where I go, oh. But luckily, the new car's doing well. It's not failed one, yeah. Touch wood. But the old one used to fail every single bloody time. So yeah, to be honest, I threw about ask Matt, but I spent about £3.5 grand into that car and it wasn't worth it. And then I spent a further 500 quid before I sold it. You know, so yeah. Yeah, spent 500 quid on getting something fixed and then sold it for £100 2 weeks later. Yeah, because I realised the thing was just junk and I got the new one. But yeah, Jamie, better late than never. Hope you're doing well, mate. Morning, Craig and Sean. Up the cherries. Another good point yesterday. Yes, most definitely.
I just thought something. I do 932 days for the women that haven't lost in the league. I wonder how many days it is since Eddie hasn't beaten us in the league. I have to have a workout there. That's got to be on a few days.
He never has. You'll have to start it from when he took over.
Yeah, started from the first game he's played us in the league. See how many days that is. Then you can do a chant on that on the next time we play them if we manage to.
Well, I'll tell you what, count it up, bring it to us on Thursday. But from myself and Sean, thank you everybody for joining us. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button. We shall see you in the next Cherry AM tomorrow, which will be with me and Ollie Meister. See you then.
Up the cherries.
Up the cherries.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.